Hello. Sorry for the delayed reaction. I am coming at you with kind of a stream of thought consciousness, kind of something I've been brainstorming about, but I haven't really got it out in all one piece. And this is kind of what the aim is here is to get everything that's been going on in my head in one piece, kind of get a community to join me as I go through my journey. Um, and it's really important that I get it all out and that I just kind of let the stream of consciousness go in the organization of my disorganized brain. So, that being said, try to follow along with me in my madness and silliness and real deep sappiness. um, so one of the main thing that's kind of motivating me to kind of feel all this internal monologue is failure. Failure is something that could be my middle name. Like, how they say, danger's my middle name. Well, failure could be mine. I have ADHD, and I know I can't blame all my failures on ADHD. That's not fair. But as a person with ADHD, I found myself failing on multiple occasions. I don't know if it's just because of ADHD. It could just be a a me thing. Um, but I know that I'm not the only person that fails. It's not exclusively a me thing. Um, but I think I have problems coping with failure, which has been really inhibiting for me. I've when I want to classify failure as like attempting to succeed in an area and then not, and then having to readjust your life or my life as I'm speaking about myself, but readjust my life and kind of reevaluate my goals and then reset, um, and then start again on a new journey or a continued journey that I left a long time ago. Or, I mean, it's just been a crazy roller coaster of a life. And I feel like the reason why it's so hard for me to cope with the failure that I've been experiencing is because of some trauma that I have that I carry around with me. And, I have a little bit of an understanding about development, growth, neurology, very little, but I do have a degree in sociology. I started off my career in thinking about psychology, but I really found myself attracted to social psychology, like exclusively. And then I had to start taking some sociology classes, and I was like, whoa, this is like me right here. So I switched over my major to sociology, but I have some psychology experiences. I have some educational, like childhood development, understanding. And then personally, in my own, like just research and personal, journey and trying to learn about ADHD. And then later on, trying to learn about coping with trauma because, I've had trauma as something that a baggage that I've carried around with me for my entire life. And some of those things I didn't even know existed. Like I just kind of like accepted them, and some of them were oppressed memories that I'd forgotten about, because it's painful to access these memories. So you just kind of like, I don't even remember that. Um, and then the other traumas that happened when I was older and that I can very well remember that I have to kind of like process the events of those traumatic experiences whenever I'm triggered or when something reminds me of these events. Those I started working on later in life through therapy to kind of deal with them because I knew, like with my research, I knew that trauma is something that it has to be dealt with. It's kind of like just kind of like a filing cabinet. If you just go and check the mail every day and you throw every piece of mail in your filing cabinet, for years, what are you going to have but a big giant pile of paperwork that is just overflowing? You don't know what's there. There's just a collection of just everything, and it's piled up and it's overwhelming, and you just slam it shut, do your best to shut the drawer, but it won't shut all the way because you've got papers sticking out. And so in order to address trauma, you've got to file away all these memories, all these traumatic experiences, and like properly process them and say, oh, this is something that bad that happened to me that makes me feel something negative, that kind of inhibits me from taking risk, or, gets in the way of my relationships, or distracts me from being able to be productive and function like a normal person. So I have to take out these memories and these files that are in my brain and then go through them with a therapist. I was going through them with a therapist one at a time and saying, okay, here are the faults, the lies that I have created in my own head about myself because of this thing that happened to me that was externally, and that I didn't have the support at the time to help me process it. It became, I internalized all that. Like, somebody hurt me, attacked me, well, because I was worthless, like that's why. And those are the things that I've had to like deal with. Well, lo and behold, while I was processing through these traumatic events that happened later, like in my older childhood, like in young adulthood, I discovered some locked memories, like some oppressed memories that kind of started creeping out of, like, you started opening Pandora's box, and then it's like, and I thought I was, getting somewhere. And then it's like, oh no, there's another layer here that I didn't even know existed. And every time I got, it's a painful experience every time I go through another memory. And to realize, like, gosh, it's been under the surface, that it's never gone anywhere. I've carried it every day, even with a lack of it knowledge of it being there. It's there. It's not going anywhere. It's my little passenger. So I've had to re-raise myself in a weird way, because, no disrespect to my parents, even though, there were some problems with my upbringing that were the cause of some of the things that plague me today. However, it's like we all are dealt our cards in life, and we do the best we can. And I think that's what happened with my parents. And now I'm over here dealing with my hand, and I'm dealing with this because I am a mom, and I want to be a good mom. And not just that, I am a person who affects everyone. And it affects me very deeply to know that I've hurt somebody or made a mistake. And I have, I've done this before in my past. I beat myself up, which, excuse me, I'm learning that, this is another trauma response. Like, you feel so guilty for any negative thing because you know how it feels. And it's just like, I did that very thing. I caused these negative emotions on this person. And it hurts me so much because of somebody doing something to me, And so it's really something I really want to avoid, manifesting. So that being said, I'm trying to deal with these emotions, and I'm learning about failure, and like, okay, so I am carrying a lot of baggage with me. No wonder I have ADHD, like I said, that I have my childhood trauma that I have to go through, and like, it really does shut me down sometimes. It shuts me down. The anxiety, panic attacks, the depression, just a lot of the different things that carry, that goes with that. So I have to give myself a little bit of a discount, but I want to function like a normal person. I don't want to make a mistake that causes me to lose my job. I don't want to, just get to a point where I just can't function properly and normally because I don't know how to maintain motivation, maintain focus, maintain just that discipline of day-to-day thing. It just depletes in me. And so, I've been doing laughter yoga. I became a laughter yoga instructor in about, I think, in 2011, very early. So it's been 10 years now. Hey, that's cool. Ding, 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 10 years. Sorry, that's my little celebration for my 10-year anniversary of laughter yoga. And a laughter for you. Okay, so I was a laughter yoga instructor. I started it because I felt like this resonates with me. And this is before I started dealing with any trauma. Like the trauma experiences has been a recent thing, has been less than 3 years ago when I started dealing with all this trauma in my life. Um, but yeah, laughter yoga, because I always, I knew I had trauma, I remembered some of these things, and then I knew I have ADHD. So I decided, this would be a good thing. I love to connect to people, and laughter yoga connects you with people. I love to laugh and make light of the situation because that's been the way I've ever always coped with all the trauma and the negative experience is just kind of make light of it. Often you'll see comedians who they have a lot of baggage and trauma and or setbacks or whatever, and yet they are able to overcome through laughter. And I have always subscribed to that, that laughter is the best medicine. So my journey today is going to be my journey is starting today or continuing today. I don't know. It never ends really. But it's going to be me getting through the pain of failure through laughter yoga and through the realization that even though I haven't profited like financially from instructing laughter yoga classes and offering myself up for these events and whatnot, I have greatly profited with my mental health and my confidence and my resilience. That's the most important thing, the resilience, because like I said, I struggle dealing with the failure. Um, but I'm able to make this connection if I'm able to laugh it off, if I'm able to kind of like process through it somehow, I'm able to make this connection with kind of like childbirth, like the metaphor that pain, life is pain, like it's a painful experience, you got to push through the pain and the reward comes later. Well, this is kind of where I'm at with that. I'm thinking of it as you develop, as you grow, you experience growing pains, and failure can be one of the catalysts that starts your process of growth. And so if that's the thing, I mean, sometimes it's not failure, sometimes it's just life circumstances, like you lose your job because of layoffs or anything. It could be anything. But all these different setbacks in life or things that kind of is the catalyst of change in your life are going to cause you pain. So if you can just embrace that, or if I can, again, I'm saying you, but I'm talking to me, and I want you to join me in this journey. But if we can accept the fact that, hey, this is a learning process, this is a growth, this is a developmental milestone. The pain is there, but we can deal with the pain. We can laugh through the pain to relieve the pain in a natural, healthy way. And we can come out with a better understanding, greater humility, as well as an energy to kind of start something else. So this is me. This is me coming out to say, I'm going to embrace the laughter yoga because it's something that I've been consistently doing for 10 years. And it's just kind of like a background thing. It's never been like the forefront of my attention. Um, but I think in order for me to go forth, I need to put it kind of on the front a little bit more. I think if it's been something I like and it's never gone away and I've never like lost focus of it, something I've used throughout the years, and now that it's online, I had this opportunity because, granted it's pandemic, whew, that's been rough. So we all have mental health, challenges that we're going through with all these different changes and, like a collective growing pains that we're going through, which is really hard to deal with. Um, I'd like to be a source of light. I'd like to help, you know, be a positive, connecting, building, and encouraging and uplifting person. And, I'm not going to be the best at it. I'm going to fail. Like, so that's why I'm going to come out straight up. Like, I'm going to fail at everything. I try if, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to say everything. I might be successful in some things, but more often than not, if I'm not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm going to fail a little bit. And that's okay. Just get up and keep going. And before you can do that, deal with those little things, those little hangups. For me, it's the little traumas and the ADHD, you know, hurdles, so to speak. But you have to be aware, like you cannot just go running. This is another thing. You have to be really aware of the fact that you're going to have your setbacks. We all have different things that kind of are our strengths and weaknesses. And usually they're pretty much connected. They're one and the same and the different, sides of the coin. But I have to be aware of the fact that if I do stumble and fall, like I'm also carrying weight and baggage. So I'm not going to just hop back up and start running again. I have to pick up the baggage and I have to manage it. So right now I'm working on wheels on my luggage so they can ride along with me. But sometimes they might just zoom in front. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff as I go along. Anywho, sorry about that. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think of a more efficient way to carry this friggin' baggage around. I don't want to weigh it down on my life to where it's visible to others because otherwise they might feel the need to step in and help me with my baggage. I'd rather just have it like carefully stowed away and dealt with. Hey, like maybe no longer, maybe I can unpack some things and actually loosen the load or lighten the load a little bit. And I want some help, and I'm going to do it in a mindful way, a way that's led through, what I've learned, techniques that work, and just real, true, raw me. Like, I got to be me. I'm not perfect. I'm going to forget things. And this is why I didn't prepare a speech. I just am like talking. And now it's approaching 20 minutes, which is a long time for one person to ramble on. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So here's a summary. I would like to work through things that I perceive as failure or things that are hurdles in my journey, obstacles. I'd like to work through those through conscious laughter, yoga, exercise, like positive mindfulness, meditation, those kind of things, so that I can unload some of my baggage and then lighten the load a little bit and be able to jump back up and then continue on my journey and have less setbacks. And I hope that I can have some people in the community that will help me and join me. So that being said, you guys are not alone. Life is hard. Let's get some laughter on, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.